Hello again, everyone. This will be video number 9. Video number 9. I was going to do this as video number 8, I think. I wasn't doing it as number 8, but it's number 9. This is on the doctor. Um, this is kind of like healthcare for the unhealthy, I guess would be kind of um, the theme of this. Um, like everyone knows in earlier videos, if you watch earlier videos, or if you saw in the Q&A part, there's a Q&A and I've answered some stuff already about the doctor in those videos. So if you go to the very first video, the intro video, we'll talk about some of the healthcare issues I had. Some of them I still have, others I do not. And some of it will deal with the confusion of medical care, health care for the unhealthy. I was in the hospital 2 times where I had to spend the night in the hospital. There probably was other times I probably should have, but I didn't even go. I ignored it. First time was right before my 50th birthday. Maybe, I think it's 49. So yeah, I was 49, I guess. And I had I was working. No big deals. I was heavy. I was close to my heaviest ever. And I dropped something on my foot, I guess. I think that's how it happened. And I felt fine, no problems. I went to take a shower and I saw like a red come out of the bottom of my leg. It was red, but I was in the shower. So I thought maybe the hot water had hit my leg in a particular spot and had heated up my leg. It probably would have been from like maybe my ankle to maybe where a sock, the top of a sock would be up the leg. So maybe about that big. And I had this red thing on my leg, and it's weird. So we're pet rescue volunteers, so we had a pet rescue event, and we were going to hand out flyers for the pet rescue event, and ask people to put them on their bulletin board. So we had an event the next day, but I wasn't going to work on that event because I was supposed to work. Emily was going to do that event, and then another event was coming up. So I just got dressed whenever, met her, started walking, we started handing out the flyers, whatever, and doing our thing. And I had noticed that 2 days earlier I kind of felt cold. I never really get cold. So what happened was I dropped something, and then the next 2 days I think started getting really cold and feeling really bad. So on Friday night that week was when we were handling the flyers. Saturday was the event. I called the doctor and caught them right before they left. Right before they left at the Santa Fe Springs, or I think back then they called it the Pasadena San Gabriel VA clinic. And the doctor, I think her name was they called her like Dr. Jane or something like that. She told me go to the hospital. She thinks maybe I had some kind of a blood infection or something like that. So I get to the hospital. They think it's flesh-eating bacteria because I had a hole and my whole leg was red. And I was terrified because they said they were going to cut off my leg. Emily said that I was, skin color like this, and then I went bright white. I'm pretty bright white now, but I went bright white like paper you put in your printer, that color of white. They did all this kind of stuff and x-rays, and the x-ray technician, when I was in there, he said, hey, I'm not allowed to say anything because I was in the emergency room at this time. We called ahead of time. They had me all set up to take an EKG when I first got there. Then they said, let's go ahead and let's x-ray this to find out what it is. And he told me, hey, I'm speaking out of turn here, but I can tell you're very, very scared. I've dealt with flesh-eating bacteria before. I've x-rayed this. I don't think this is what this is. So I go back downstairs, wait for the results. The doctors come in. They wouldn't let me drink anything or have anything to eat because they thought they're going to have to cut my leg off. They talk about the whole leg, not just the toe. I'll be talking about that in a minute. So they're going to cut off my entire leg. So he says, I don't think that's what it is. So I go back downstairs. They tell me it's cellulitis. And I think, oh, good, cellulitis. What's that? I didn't even know what it was. I didn't even know. I didn't ask my doctors about cellulitis. I never even heard of cellulitis. But I had cellulitis. It almost caused me to die from a heart attack. I had to stay overnight, and they'd monitor the monitor that hooks to your body, beep, 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 whatever that thing's called, to see if my heart rate would go down enough that I could go home the next day. They didn't think I'd be home the next day. That'd be 2 or 3 days. They gave me heparin. They gave me to stop the heart attack, or I guess, to stop the heart attack, and a ton of antibiotics. I took them there intravenously, and then they gave me a bunch to take home. I did go home the next day. When I called my doctor, I said I was going to wait till Monday to come in. They looked at the charts and they said you would probably have been dead by Saturday. So thank you, doctors. Thank you, doctors. Thank you to the Veterans Administration. Thank you to the taxpayers who paid for that service, because I did not die. So you think that would have got me really motivated, get me going or whatever, and it did for a while, and then I kind of fell back off. Then I had a toe infection. I can look it up what it's called. I said I was going to do that, and I'll put it in here. But it's a little teeny infection in my toe, and they're going to cut off my leg again. This was in 2018. So you think I would have learned from that? I had 6 weeks of at-home IVs, 4 IVs a day for 6 weeks, every single day. I had to have people come to my house and take my blood. I had nurses come to show me how to treat the toe itself. So it's everything from the toe to the heart to the body. I had a PICC line in my arm, and they were afraid that my vascular system would not allow the IVs that were coming in through my arm, which the PICC line leads to my heart, that the heart and my vascular system wouldn't be able to pump the IV, antibiotics from the IV down to my toe. They had to create the antibiotic, so they had to figure out what fought the thing the best. And they call them cassettes, but they're like little round balls full of IV, and I had to hook it to my arm. Had to do that like every 6 hours in the day. So it's tough to work, like I said earlier. But one of the nurses at the hospital told me about something to take for vascular health, and I put that in a video that way back under supplements. If you look in supplements, you'll see me talking about that. If you want more information about that, put it in the comments. I'll tell you about that. So anyway, I was able to save my leg. They want to cut off my leg, which makes total sense. I talked about that earlier. You have infection, let's say here, there's an infection in your finger, and there's no infection here, so they cut there. So now you have no infection. There's a gap between the infection and the clear, and it makes sense. I didn't argue that, but they thought I would never ever be able to save my leg. And thank you once again to the Veterans Administration Hospital, Long Beach, California. Thank you to all you taxpayers, because I was able to save my leg. Okay, so those are 2 major things with the doctor. What I found to be my situation with the doctor, and remember, this is about me, you may be finding something similar, is doctors, the medical society, the medical industry, the medical whatever complex, when you study things like diabetes, being overweight, high blood pressure, heart issues, high blood pressure and all that, what they basically say when you read all of it and you take all that information in, and all that information on all these different sites, unless you dig very, very deep, if you read like the first, second, or third article on some of these sites, you'll come to the conclusion, you'll come to the conclusion that if you have these conditions, what you need to do is you need to eat less food, and you need to exercise more, or exercise some. They usually say exercise some, because they assume you're not exercising. They know you're eating. They know you, and they know I am eating, but they don't know if we're exercising. So they'll say, get some exercise. They're now talking about, instead of going for a 14-minute walk a day, to go on a brisk 7-minute walk a day. That was on the radio last night. So what I found was that if I didn't dig deeper into these articles or these studies, or the Harvard Medical, or there's Americans with Diabetes, there's the Heart Association, WebMD, if I don't dig deeper, I wouldn't really find out too much information. What it would say is, hey, you're fat. And I'm like, duh. And they say, hey, you don't eat right. And again, duh. And you don't exercise. They don't have to draw the line, because I did exercise. I didn't exercise enough. So for me, it was eat less, or not necessarily even eat less, eat better and exercise more. But that's what they tell you. That's all they say. And I had asked the doctor, hey, what's going on? I got asked a lot of questions here. The emphasis on all these programs are the scale, the weighing your body on a scale. Okay, I used to weigh 200 pounds. Today I weigh 194 pounds. Last week was 200. I'm doing great. That might not be true. And I found that to be accurate, because the things I can and do check would be my blood sugar, and I can convert that into an A1C, my daily blood sugar count. I can convert that, and I can find out pretty close what my A1C is going to be. So there's a calculation for that. Again, if you want that, I'll put it down here. Maybe I'll make a short video on how to calculate that. It's not hard. So I can check that. I can check my weight, and I can check my blood pressure with my blood pressure. I have a blood pressure thing, and I can check that. And mine's automatic. It doesn't have that thing. I'm probably too stupid to use that bulb, but it's automatic, and it's pretty accurate. What I used to do is I'd go down to the drugstore, and they had a blood pressure thing. And as long as you don't drink coffee in the morning, and as soon as you don't drink coffee in the morning, you go, wow, my blood pressure is really high. It's probably the coffee. So I went from there. And the doctors were basically medicine, prescription. So of course, to save the leg, I had to do all of that. Then when I got healthier and I started losing weight, I started asking a lot of questions. For example, I didn't know why you have to wear shoes if you're a diabetic. I know now because I almost lost my leg. I didn't know a lot of this stuff. So I was using the standard American, maybe worldwide plan to try to lose some weight on the scale, and then I'd be better. Well, no. My blood sugar was too high. My blood pressure was too high. Right now, my blood pressure actually been running a little bit low. So I think I'll be able to take out the blood pressure. I take a half of a tablet of a blood pressure pill. I think that's going to be gone soon. So, because it's running a little bit low. So I discovered that the entire thing is not just a scale and not just this. The test that I really concern myself with, of course, is my A1C. They have different tests. Your doctor may not do this for you. Maybe you can ask them. I did ask my doctor, can you give me a printout of everything? And I went over with my doctor, and we highlighted. It tells you, like, your blood, this thing in your blood should be between 50 and 100. And mine is a 52, so that's good. And it'll tell you if it's good or if it's bad, good or bad, good or bad, good or bad, good or bad, all the way down. So I talked to the doctor about certain things. I've had some cancers in my family, so I get additional screening for that. But I have that, and I can go with that. So what they're telling me is the scale and what I eat. That's it. But it's not true for me. Maybe it's true for you. So for me, yeah, I had to lose weight. I had to lose weight. Most of it probably is related to weight. Most of everything that's wrong with it is related to weight. They call it type 2 diabetes. They take the word obesity and they put it in there. And when you're morbidly obese, that's a scary sound. You're obese. How obese? Oh, you're morbidly obese. That's pretty scary. I don't want to be obese at all, and I don't want to be morbid if I am. So what I had to do was figure this whole thing out for myself. So the testing, the lab works is the important thing. I talked to my doctor, nutritionist, pharmacist. Everything I do is planned around what they think is right, what I think I would like to do. And if there's anything I can do, like if I say, hey, I know you want to put me on this neuropathy medication. If you look at my, I think it's video number, I'm looking at here, I think it's video number 4. It's about my neuropathy treatment. I came up with a little treatment, and I don't have any more neuropathy. For those of you who haven't watched that yet, if you do have neuropathy, if you're diabetic, or I think others get it too, but I know they call it diabetic something neuropathy, I don't know, but it hurts. It hurts, and it also keeps you from doing other things. It keeps you from being able to sleep. At least it did for me. I'm sorry, that's you again. It keeps me from being able to sleep, kept me from being able to really want to exercise. My feet hurt all the time, so I came up with a program of this. I asked the doctor, well, what's the reason we get neuropathy? It was usually some kind of a B vitamin deficiency and something else. So the way the blood flows, the way the blood filters or whatever, pumps or whatever it does, whatever the blood does when it moves through your body, the circular system, I guess, and your B vitamins. So I said, well, what if I just take more B vitamins? No, that won't work. I said, can I try it? And they said, okay, try it, and if you're still having this problem, we'll give you some medication for the neuropathy. You see it on TV all the time. Ask your doctor about this for neuropathy. Ask your doctor about this for diabetes. Ask your doctor about this for HIV. Ask your doctor about this for all this, everything. Boom, 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 boom. They always tell you to ask your doctor. There's probably a pill for everything. And I just don't want to take more medicine. So I was able to do that. That's video, I think, number 4, my neuropathy treatment. It's just what I do. And maybe it'll work for you. That might work for you. So I found that with my doctor, I had to ask questions, and you only get so much time with your doctor at the Veterans Administration. And that's probably true in the civilian sector, the non-veteran sector. So I had to schedule things and ask a lot of questions. So I had sleep issues. I talked to the sleep clinic. I have my feet. I go talk to the podiatrist. And each time I talk to each person, I try to say, can I schedule an appointment where there's a little extra time to talk to me? Because I don't want to delay somebody else. That's not fair. I don't want them to not have a meeting because I'm there. I don't want them to not meet with another veteran. They do my eyes. They check to see if I've got any bleeding, which I had. It's doing a lot better now. So they haven't had to go in and put any needles or any of that kind of stuff. And right now, when I say that, I start worried about that. Needles in the eye, that's a motivation for me. So those are the ones I go to. I said so a lot, I'm sorry. But those are the ones I go to. It's my feet, it's the general diabetes, it's the blood pressure, blood sugars, cholesterol screenings. They check your urine. They always say you have no this in your urine or this, and you're supposed to or you're not supposed to. And it's all confusing. That's why it's good to get that printout, because then I highlight things I want to ask. Hey, it says here that my A1C was 7.1 last time, and this time it's 5.8. That's good. But I noticed that it does go up and down some. Is there any way I can do to stabilize that? They always ask you, is your diabetes stable? Is your condition stable? What does that mean? Does that mean that every day when my blood sugar should be 100 and I take it every day it's 320? Well, 320 is not good. It might be stable. I might have 320 every day. That's not good. So those are things I can check. I can check at home my blood sugar and my blood pressure and my A1C. I can convert my A1C, my blood sugar into my A1C. I can tell if my clothes are fitting. I don't measure myself. I don't weigh myself. But if I notice I have to really tuck my belt on a little bit tighter, then I know I've probably lost a little weight. So I don't worry about my scale weight for anything other than health. I don't worry about my inches lost or arms bigger for looks. I'm only concerned with health. So I had to ask questions. Why these shoes? Why this medicine? Why this procedure? Why this test? Is there a clinical trial that the VA is running? I'm doing the clinical trial for the VA running for colon health. You see that kind of annoying box talking about that on TV. Cologuard, I'll say its name. Has a very annoying talk. Hi, I'm Cologuard. I take that kind of thing at home once a year, and I'm on a 10-year program for that. And I think that's about to end. They're going to probably ask me if I want to extend that, and then colonoscopies once a year, I guess. But there's a lot of tests I can do. And I research a lot of stuff, and I have to ask them, is this supplement okay? If you watch the one on supplements, there's one on supplements back that way, and one on neuropathy back that way. And you can see the supplements I take. I take a lot of supplements. Someone asked me, can I lay it all out and show them what it looks like? I don't discuss my medical, my prescription drugs, because that's different for everybody. I'm definitely not a doctor. Some people have asked me about that. I have a video back there too. I think it's called Doctor, is it approved? And people have written me and asked me about what I take in the way of pharmaceuticals, but I don't post that for everyone. I want to make sure that, yes, your doctor, I mean, it's on the honor system. Yes, my doctor asked me to ask you, David, what do you take when it comes to prescription pharmaceuticals? And I'll tell them. I don't want to just post it. That's kind of a negligent, I think, of a thing to do, to just post it for everyone. So when it comes to the doctor, I ask a lot of questions. I'm screened for diabetes, my eyes, my sleep, my feet, and maybe you are as well. Some people just go to a regular doctor. They just go to a regular doctor once a year, once every 6 months, whatever. For me, it's every 6 months minimum. It used to be I would go to the doctor every 2 months, so 6 times a year. And now I go every 6 months about, and then I take my labs, and then it goes up and down. So I ask, can I get off of this? Can I get off of this? One question I had, and you may have this question too, is if I'm a diabetic and I take insulin, let's say, and I take this many units, and my blood sugar is better, but I'm also doing stuff, I'm walking, I'm eating better, how do we know, is it just the insulin I'm taking, or is it also the better diet I'm eating and the increased exercise? I'm walking mostly. How do you know? And how do they know? I still, to this day, they explain it to me, and it's always a kind of a different explanation. So I don't want to say, hey, take me off everything, let's see what happens, because maybe I need those things. But I used to take a lot of insulin. I used to take a lot of it. I had to get the longer needle to I don't know what that thing's called, the syringe area. I guess that's I don't know. The area right there, where you squirt, had to be at both basically the biggest they had, and I had to take that. I had to take 2 shots at a time, twice a day. Now I don't do that anymore. I'm not. Like I said, if you ask me to discuss it with you, and your doctor wants to know, I'll let you know. So that's what happens. What they do, I know a lot of people that they shoot a ton of insulin all day long, and I said, well, how do you know how you're doing? And they don't. They just said you're not going to do anything historically. You've never done anything to better this. You don't do anything. So they just tell them more and more insulin. So they take insulin, they get their numbers down to maybe in the 200s. It's supposed to be 100 fasting for a non-diabetic. They might get in the 200s, 250, whatever, with all that insulin they're shooting. And then also one day, I guess the body gets used to that insulin. The body's not creating, the pancreas is not creating enough insulin again, and they up the numbers again. I know people that take I see them, they have to stop what they're doing and go take it. They grab their little insulin kit and their needles and all that. And they go to the bathroom and they shoot like 3 or 4 needles worth. And that, like, oh, did you take that daily? Is that your long lasting? They go, that's my short term. I also take this. I take this 4 times a day. My dog is barking. I take that 4 times a day, and I also take this and this and this and this, and I take this much of metformin and whatever. And the VA, I'm sure your hospital as well, eventually they're going to just say, do you want to do anything about this? And if the answer is no, then they treat it just with medicine. There's move classes, there's different classes of how to deal with being a diabetic and all that, but they don't take any of them. And they just take the shots. And that's what they decided to do for them. At the VA and the hospital there, and I'm sure the civilian hospitals and your hospital, maybe you do go to the VA, maybe you go to a different hospital. But eventually, remember, it's about you at that point. It's about you and your doctor. And if that's what they decide to do, that's what you do. You have to do, I guess. But for me, I said, I don't want to just increase my medicine. Hey, I'm doing great again. Oh, no, I'm not doing great. Here's more medicine. Hey, I'm doing great again. I didn't want to do that. I didn't want to just be restricted to taking a bunch of medicine. I would do it to stay alive. I do it to save my leg, but I want to do that temporarily. I want it to be a temporary solution to fix that. So that's my whole thing. Talk to my doctor, treat my eyes. I'll go from the top. I'm bald. Okay, I don't have no hair. So treat my breathing, treat my eyes, breathing, heart, diabetes, legs down to my feet. It's kind of like the whole thing. And anything I get on me, if I get a bump or a bruise or a cut, I have to treat it right away to make sure there's no infection. So I'll put down below what the infection is called. Okay, if you would like to subscribe, please do so. Please do so. Thanks for watching. I'm starting my birthday challenge, in which I'm going to attempt, I'm going to try to do this, to walk 610,000 steps from November 1st to November 30th. November 30th is my birthday. I have a video called My Birthday Month Walking Challenge. You can watch that. I'll put it in here as well with what the bone infection is called. But I'm going to start that. In order to do that, I need to walk about 24,000 steps a day. When I went to SeaWorld, that's in there too, there's a video of that too. Went to SeaWorld, I got just under 24,000. So it's like basically going to an amusement park and spending the whole day and walking every single day without a break. And we'll see if I can do it. 610,000 steps, that's like almost, I think it's about 300 miles. 300 miles in 1 month. So that's a lot. People say, oh, it's not that bad. It's 10 miles every day. So, and with no break. So as long as I don't like fall in a gopher hole, or if it doesn't start hailing on me, I think I can accomplish this. I think I can. We'll see. I can walk in place. If I have to, I'll kind of like jog in place, and get those steps in. So I'm doing. If you go to see my birthday challenge, I made a little playlist. Every night I will record my steps on there with a quick video. I just like hold it up high. And today was a good day. I got this many steps. I'll show it on the Fitbit either by showing it here. I don't know if you can see it. Yeah, you can see it. I can't turn my arm all the way around, but I will. I can at least show the steps. So I would go like this. It's upside down. But anyway, I'll take it off. If I have to do it that way, I'll probably try to shoot on my big computer. And I can show it on the phone, holding the phone up to the big computer. Right now I'm talking on the phone. So that way, but I'll record that every night. Or unless I fall asleep, I'm so exhausted. So let's say if I get so much pain I can't sleep or something, then I have to quit. If I get injured, I'll have to quit. If my health diminishes to the point where I have to quit, I'll quit. So my goal is to walk this 610,000 steps by the end of the month, of next month. November 30th, that's my birthday, November 30th. So I will post this video. This video will go to the manager, and he's gonna publish it for me, and it should be out. I would hope it'd come out before the 1st, but not. This is video number 9, and it's about the doctor. Thank you so much. Have a great weekend. It is Saturday today.